Lieutenant Judy Kellen with the Sioux City Police Department. Today we are going to read this little story entitled Busy People, Police Officer. Ando twin, Lucy George were the authors. Luis is a police officer. He wears a crisp uniform with a belt to carry his equipment, a hat, and a badge. It is Officer Luis's job to protect people in the community. He has an early shift today. He arrives early at the police station, right on time. The sergeant is briefing the team for the day. "Good morning, Sergeant," calls Officer Luis. "Hello, Luis," says the sergeant. Then he gives everyone a job for the day. Some officers go out on horseback patrol. Some go to a crime scene. But Officer Luis and Officer Thea are going to the local festival. They go to their police car and check to make sure everything is working. They run the lights, they run the sirens, wee-oh, wee-oh. Officer Thea tests the special flashlights and the siren and makes sure that they are working. Officer Thea drives through the busy streets on the way to the festival. Officer Luis keeps his eye on traffic to make sure everyone is driving safely. The festival is busy. People are out in the sun, they're eating, playing games, and enjoying themselves. Officer Luis and Officer Thea, they patrol the grounds. They give one family some directions. They help someone whose car is stuck in the mud. They ask a stall worker to keep the path clear. Suddenly, Officer Luis feels a tug on his arm. It is a little boy. "I've lost my mom and dad," the boy cries. "Oh dear," says Officer Luis. "What's your name?" "Alex," whispers the little boy. "Don't worry, Alex. We'll find them," says Officer Luis. Officer Luis asks Alex where he saw his parents last and what they look like. Then Officer Luis has an idea. "Do you have their phone numbers?" he asks. Alex looks in his bag. "Here," he says. "Dad wrote it down in case of an emergency." Smart dad, Officer Luis. He tries calling the number, but there is no signal. "We'll never find them," Alex says. He starts to cry. He wants his mom and his dad. "Don't worry, Alex. Let's try the meeting point," says Officer Thea. "We'll find them there." As they get close, Alex thinks he can see his parents. "Mom! Dad!" Alex cries, breaking into a run. "There you are," says Alex's dad. "He came and asked for our help," explains Officer Luis. "Well done, Alex," says his mom. "Thank you for helping me," Alex says. "No problem. We were just doing our jobs," says Officer Luis. "Enjoy the festival," says Officer Thea. Officer Luis and Officer Thea decide to get ice cream. "It's your turn to buy them," says Officer Thea with a grin. "Fair enough," says Officer Luis, "but I get to drive home." What else does Officer Luis do? Well, Officer Luis directs traffic. He ends up helping investigating crime scenes. He teaches kids about safety. He arrests criminals. What do police officers need to do their job? So some of the equipment that Officer Luis and other officers use include hats. Here in our town, you might see an officer wearing this SWAT ball cap. Sometimes we wear ball caps out on patrol. In the winter, we need stocking hats. It might look similar to this hat. If we were going to a ceremony or a parade or a formal event, you might see officers wearing a hat like this. In addition to the uniform and the shirt and all the boots and the other items, we have different badges here in Sioux City. We have the metal badge that generally you'll see an officer wearing on their uniform. You might see a SWAT badge, and that officer would probably be wearing it when they're at SWAT training or when they're on a SWAT call out, and it would also probably be worn with that SWAT baseball cap. Last year we had the pink badges made so that we can wear the female officers can wear these in the month of October. We also have flexible badges. This badge goes on some of our jackets, and you may also see it on some of our bike patrol shirts and some of our other shirts. Officers in this town might have different flashlights. You might see this one at a traffic accident or where an officer is directing people. You might see a smaller flashlight that maybe looks like this, or an officer may have a flashlight similar to this. We have all different sizes of flashlights that do different functions, and an officer may have many different kinds of flashlights on their body or in their bag. So also an officer on patrol in Sioux City probably has a notebook, and it's not unusual for it to maybe look like this. It may be another style of notebook, but there's a good chance that there's paper in it. But you may also be able to walk up and ask an officer for a baseball card. Many of our officers have baseball cards, and you may be able to get a trading card from one of our officers.